Heyo, heyo. Doing a test?
Yo, we're good! Yay!
Yay! Well,
Hi.
hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Good. You're going to see in the recording my launching of the thing. That's okay.
That's perfectly fine. It should be still on Savoran too. So,
Excellent.
because we are pretty much picking up right where we left off.
Perfect.
So,
As always, just saying thank you for doing one-on-ones because I think it's really cool of you.
I definitely need to tell you, like, I have it planned for a Serafina one-on-one very, very soon.
Yes! Oh, I'm so excited to hear that.
The biggest thing is getting back to Kalain for it to
Mm-hmm.
happen.
Oh, yeah. Because it's going to be her and Shinya that need to connect.
That. But there might be a surprise visitor.
Ooh.
but
I have guesses, but I'm not going to say them because I think they're based on stuff we haven't talked about in a recording. So
no. Speaking of recording, let's go ahead and dive right on. And
sounds good.
You all have just finished dinner. Is there anything that you would like to do?
Yeah. I just look at Kavoria and kind of check in. I want to maybe I can tell without asking. Has she looked more and more tired as we've been sitting here, or has the food and the drink sort of given her a little pre-bedtime boost?
She's looking better. It's definitely even from when she got on her horse, back towards the end of the rat fight. She definitely has started looking better almost immediately.
That's great.
When she got on Zamora. And as time went on, like, yeah, she's tired, and you can tell she's tired. She definitely seems more like herself now.
Okay.
Aside from the kind of, I don't want to say depression state, because she wasn't really depressed. She was down. Like, she was really hard on herself. And
Okay.
she felt bad, like that she never disclosed any of this. And even though, like, yeah, you all said, like, no, you wouldn't have jeopardized the mission, she still has that little sense, and you can kind of tell there's still a little bit of that regret, maybe more the proper term.
I think that makes sense. But
definitely
putting in a quick
sitting there with Ignacio and holding his hands and holding on to him, it's really helped her.
That's wonderful. It's nice to see that just they give each other strength, and that's obvious, and that's a really nice thing.
Yeah.
I would just look at her and say, Kavaria, if you have energy, I know we're all sort of wrapping up, but would you like to go to the bar with me for a little bit of a dessert, a nightcap or something?
Some dessert would be quite lovely. And she'll look over to Ignacio and say she'll be back. And we'll go with you.
Wonderful. If you'll go ahead and order Caspian, I don't know if Caspian will have it, but Cara over at the other Savoran too makes an amazing cheesecake, and I don't know if they have any here, but if they do, it is quite good.
I would love some of that.
Let's see if they have it. really quickly, I'm going to run up to my room. I'll be right back. And Sienna's just going to dart up the stairs.
Okay.
She's
Okay.
running. And she grabs Shinya's journal
Okay.
and comes back downstairs. She's
As
not light.
as you are coming back, Caspin does lay 2 plates of cheesecake down,
Fantastic.
and as he sees you, he's like, "I have news for you."
Oh, yes, that's right. Thank you.
Ryko said that uh, he will be waiting for you at the smithery.
Oh,
He
even this
has.
late?
Ryko has a bit of a streak of working after closing.
She just smiles.
Much to his sister's dismay, but
Understandable and relatable.
but he did say Laurna and Maka will be there as well. They all seem to be quite invested in the relief effort.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Thank you for passing that along, Caspin. I really
course.
appreciate it.
Enjoy. And he steps off and
Wonderful.
into the back.
So Sienna will just sort of like take one bite of the cheesecake because it's so good. You can't not eat it immediately. And then she'll go, so you're not sure who your great grandfather is, right?
That is right. I know I'm named after Kafora, which is my grandmother, great grandmother. No, grandmother.
Our family is very big. It is so hard to keep track, honestly.
Honestly, being this far down from the highest order is you kind of forget that you're generations from her.
That's so wild. It's
She's,
true, though.
She's been. I don't want to say hands on because hands on is not the proper word to say, but she's definitely been there. My siblings, they told me that after Lishon was born, that's when my mother's health went downhill. And it really scared her.
That's understandable.
My mother is descendant of Tethoro.
And no one in the family has Tethoro's parentage documented as anything other than Shinji and you.
If they do, they're purposely not saying anything. I mean,
Understood.
my grandmother is still alive. She moved to Grady when Elron was born, and my great grandparents are still around. They're in their older years though, but they're also in Grady.
Wow. I've never been to Grady. I've heard, but of course, to be fair, I was not very in touch with my elven side until about 2 weeks ago. So,
I just now noticing. Yeah, I know you kept saying that Shinya was your father, but I see it in your eyes now.
it seems to be the Thorn Blossom dead giveaway, as it were.
It really is. mean, my Shinji, Hayato Shinji,
Mm-hmm.
he has regular blue eyes. Roll me a perception check real quick.
Mm-hmm. Still beautiful, by the way.
Oh, yes.
I pulled everything up, but Sienna's character sheet. Give me one moment. There it is. Perception is. Don't ask me about privacy right now, D&D Beyond, and nobody cares. That's a 14 perception.
That's just enough because she's right in front of you. You notice, even though there's a blueness to Kavoria's eyes, there's a paleness. But it's not the crystalline blue like your own and your sister's. And most of the siblings that you have met of Shinga's line.
It's just a little bit different.
Yeah, it's more of like a pale blue.
Like a gray blue sort of look. Yeah. Mel loves that color of eyes, by the way. Yeah. Oh, so pretty.
It is gorgeous. I've only met one person in real life that has had that blue, and it's like, oh, gorgeous. But also with that perception check, your mind immediately flips to the statue that you saw in the garden. And you can see similarities between the two.
Above the table question, there's no question in the family's mind that Tethoro is in her line.
Yes.
There's no question of that. Like, her great-grandfather is known. It's the great-great-grandfather that's unknown.
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was thinking about that correctly. You can really see the shape of Tethoro's eyes from the imagery I've seen of him in you.
That's what leads my siblings to think Shinji is not our great-great-grandfather.
Because the Thorn Blossom boys seem to have dominant traits when it comes to that. That makes sense.
And
well, sorry.
Tethoro looks nothing like Shinji.
It is true. It's ridiculous how good looking our family is.
I mean, Fey blood is very strong, especially the closer to it you are.
Indeed. It's true.
I mean, mine's slightly diluted, but we are greedy elves through and through. So we still have that Fey blood in us, but it has, I don't want to say watered down because it's not really watered. It's thinned a little.
More cheesecake. Is being eaten while we're talking. Well, I'm sorry to... I know it's the end of the day, but I've been thinking about this since yesterday, actually. Speaking of the Shinya's eyes, the moment I saw Shintaro over at Victor's Values, I guessed correctly that was a descendant from Shinya. So met my half-brother. He asked if I had ever been to Doreen. And I forgot for a moment that I had, but I did mention it. And I happened to mention that the part of the group that I came with included you. And he heard your name, Kavoria. And his response caught my attention. He said, "Good to see Tethoro's line continues." Which made me pull out this book, and she'll put it's wrapped in silk. She'll put the tome on the table and slowly unwrap it. I'm obviously quite new to our family and its history, but my father incredibly kindly gave me a bit of a crash course, you could say, and also gave me this, and she would unwrap it, and it's just an ancient tome, and she'd turn it toward her. And
she reaches out very tenderly. May I?
Of course, by all means.
And she runs her fingers over the script that is on the cover. And it simply just says Shinya's journal. What you probably didn't see was very faded, but it has the number 7 on it.
7. That's incredible.
Shinya always was known as the record keeper.
I suppose that trait has been handed down. I marked with the piece of cloth between the pages. If you open to that, there's a passage I marked for you. It's fair warning, it's quite sad. So if you're not in mental headspace to hear, it is from before the ending of the Great Battle, but it does give some insights. And for purposes of, I'm looking at the passage that I want to read. Are you okay if I read it?
Yes. Kavoria flips very, very carefully. Like, you can see that she respects this tome. And she gingerly opens it. She opens it first, and then gingerly flips the pages to where you have marked. And she looks at it. She can read it because she can read, I believe she can read Sylvan. I will use my phone to double check, but she listens to you read.
Okay. There's 2 passages. You told me yesterday, or perhaps the day before, that you had never heard the name Tethisi. Tethisi was Tethoro's twin sister.
Twin sister?
Mm-hmm.
No. I've... if there was ever a Tethisi, it was never ever spoken about.
And Sienna just nods a bit. There is reason for that. Whether it is good reason is still debating in my mind. But there is reason. And she'll start reading the passage, and she'll just point to where she's starting. Durag has come to me and Aspen this day. He has told us that Tethisi has fallen with some others. That sweet girl that we had watched grow just fell. Where did we go wrong? She was always so happy. She was always the one that stood up and protected Tethoro from those who bullied him. I asked him why she betrayed us, to which he had no reply. The only thing he could say was that her mind became corrupted by Zephyr. He was going to try to talk to her, but Tethoro, sweet Tethoro, told Darog that he would go and see if he could try and change Tathisi's mind. You told him it was a horrible idea. He could barely defend himself as is. But he told her that she was his twin. If he couldn't do it, then she was too far gone. And it stated Iwina 25, year -5. And the entry right after that, this is the one that caught my attention especially today.
Of course.
I'm sorry?
Of course.
She killed him. Tathisi, she struck her twin down. Tethoro is gone. Tethoro, the one born with no powers, no sight, and no color. Just gone. And she looks up at Kavoria with the mention of no powers, no sight, no color. Tathisi.
She's looking at the passage because she can't read Sylvan, so she's reading with you.
Mm-hmm. Tathisi protected him growing up. I could hear Yu's cry from across the damned battlefield. Tethoro only ever wanted his sister back. Darog's anger showed in that moment. Tathisi was sent flying across the field. I heard him speak in Celestial, the language of the gods. He cast Tathisi and cast it out of our family. Darog told us what happened as he and Shinji held a wailing Yu cradling her son. Tathisi claimed that Tethoro was just acting and she never wanted to protect him. Claimed he could have simply stood up for himself. The boy could barely walk until he was a teenager. And the Tathisi I knew lovingly and willingly stood up for him. Losing Corvi to her was tough enough as is. But now Tethoro? How many more of our children must die to their hands? Appeal 26, year -4. And then the addendums. Shinji just asked if I could inform Tethoro's wife of his passing. How can I? I loved the boy just as much. He was a light in our family. So much was missing from him, and yet he filled us with so much more. His children would be devastated. I can see why he wants me to. Shinji looks absolutely terrible. Darog's children are very much his as well. He has told all of them that they can call him father too, and they all have. I can keep my composure much better. You as hardly let go of Tethoro since the fight today ended. Laurna will be so devastated. Kavora and Sami will be crying nonstop. They are so young. And she stops and puts her hand on Kavoria's. I believe quite strongly, Kavoria, that Darog is your great-great-grandfather.
You see tears just streaming down her face.
And she just squeezes her hand while she's processing it.
Tethor was like me. I mean, I'm not blind or colorless, but I couldn't walk for the longest time.
Yeah. And Sienna would hop off of her bar stool and just wrap her arms around Kavoria. Mm-hmm. You are.
I remember hearing stories of all the children of the gods being taken. Yet, it seems like my grandmother and my great aunts were not taken.
No, they were not. I'm not sure why. That part is still unclear to me, but I think the reason that you haven't heard about Tethisi is because she fell. But I could not explain why our twin did not find himself behind the fallen veil as well. But that being said, I am very glad he didn't. I am sorry for the way he passed away, but it does mean that his line continues, as Shintaro said.
I always heard that he died in battle. Not much was ever spoken about Tethoro because Grandmother, you never spoke of him.
I imagine thinking of that moment must be unspeakably painful for her.
But it was.
But I know you probably know this better than I, but I have heard from a few people that she spends the majority of her time, that is free anyway, in Tethoro's garden.
She does. If we can't find her at her home or at the great tree, we can always find her there.
Yeah.
As soon as we approach her, she gets up from the bench and escorts us out and gets to business.
The strength it takes, that it must take to carry on. I can't imagine.
To lose a child in such a violent way. Especially one who could not defend himself in the way he wanted.
Yeah. And it makes no sense why Tethisi would say he was just pretending that he couldn't defend himself. She knew. She was his twin. She grew up watching him work to strengthen his legs, watching him work just to live. How could she possibly claim that he was pretending? It doesn't make any sense. I have a... go ahead.
All the similarities I see. And watching my siblings grow up alongside me, cheering me on, when I would take my own steps for the first time. I can never imagine one of them turning.
Sienna just smiles and gives her another squeeze on her hand and lets go, and just kind of looks pensive on the bar. I have a theory that is forming slowly. And perhaps it is a conversation for another time, but I don't. And she'll drop her voice to a whisper and just say, Zephyr. He was the first to fall. Something made him fall. And I have been told in what I think is a vision, who knows, that I am to find what made Zephyr fall. If something external made Zephyr fall, who knows what external influences could have been on Tethisi as well.
Sorry, sorry, there's a internal battle going on in my head.
It's okay. It's a lot.
I'm a descendant of the Rag, but I'm a follower of Revenge, and it's very weird for me right now.
Well, what's up for its worth? I think they were very good friends.
I think they might have, but that's entirely different. If there was something that made Tethisi fall, who is it to say that it can't influence others today?
That is my concern as well. I don't believe you saw. You probably heard the Rat King, but I doubt you heard the voice that was in the tree behind him. But there was a voice. And I caught eye contact with her. She had purple skin, pink hair, and horns that went all the way back on her head. After the battle, I climbed up into the tree and I found these. And she'll pull out the amulet and the green piece of cloth and push them toward Kavoria.
Kavoria takes a moment. I'm actually going to roll religion for her.
Mm-hmm. Sienna's keeping her hands on them because she's not necessarily saying here, hold this, but she's also wanting to show her.
She's definitely not touching. Partially due to the fact that she doesn't know what this is.
Wise choice.
Okay, she has a +5. Mwah. Tell your... Okay.
What'd you roll?
18?
Yes!
+5.
Let's go. Hell yes.
23. She immediately... she's going out to touch it. Not to take it from you.
Mm-hmm.
But then stops.
What is it?
You don't want to mess with that. That is a symbol of the fallen. That is the symbol of Zephyr.
Isn't the forest supposed to be protected?
It is said. I remember hearing Grandmother Yu talking about this one time. If a fallen or a worshipper of the fallen were able to see past the veil for a day and get to wherever they can that doesn't have a ward against casting out or changing somebody to their true form and reside within the city and they stay there, they can continue to see the city.
And I take it Darlene does not have the same wording on it that Ghislaine does.
It almost seems so. I know Derlin has wards, but they're just basic protection wards to make sure creatures don't get within the borders. But this, even though I will not be touching it, this is still a wonderful find. That means somebody here in Derlin is a worshipper of the fallen.
Mm-hmm.
If we can find who they are, we might can get answers.
I believe we need them, honestly. This entire task that High Elder Yu has set us on, it aims to prevent the fallen from... And she's going to lower her voice again and look around and just try to be careful about who can hear her. If we learn why they fell, we maybe can see if we can reverse it. Give you at least one of, or multiple of, our children back. Can you imagine?
It would be amazing if Tathisi, if she truly regrets, this is all speculation, if she ever regretted killing Tathoro, it might allow her to seek forgiveness.
It would be amazing. I don't know how any of this works. I don't know why. I should not be the one receiving visions, but here we are. And if there's a path to redemption, if that is the right word, I don't know, but I want to help them find it. The way that my father writes about them, they were not always these bastions of evil they've become. So she'll put the amulet back in her pocket and just sort of like anxiously tap it. Like she knows it's probably not great that she has it, but she also doesn't want to let it go because it feels like it's the key. She doesn't know where the lock is or where the chest is or whatever, where she's going to find answers, but she feels like it's the key.
Yeah.
So she's protecting it. There's definitely a thought in the back of her mind that's chewing at her a little bit, like, this belongs to the fallen, which means it is something that can be used to scry. It is something that can be used, and it was laying on the tree in a very presentational manner. They probably want me to have these. Should I have it? Just like it's a whole like should I have it destroyed? There is
The
that
eternal
thought process
dialogue.
happening, but she's pushing it back actively.
Kavoria takes a look at the scrap as well. It's honest. That could honestly belong to anybody.
Yeah, it's good.
But
if we see anybody wearing something green with a snag in it, hint, hint, I suppose.
if they are that dumb, I am looking. What is this? Thought she had a spell, but it doesn't look like she has it. I might be thinking of a different character, which is very, very reasonable that I am.
Welcome to what happens when you play multiple PCs that you care about, and
No, I think I was looking
constantly
at a spell for Kavoria and decided against it because it would have been one that she would have gotten this, like this particular
with her
up.
leveling, I'm assuming. Yeah. That makes sense. Sienna will sort of...
she no, she would have had it, but she would not have prepared it. Dang it.
Okay.
Because I was gonna try to use locate objects.
Oh, ooh.
But she doesn't have it prepared, so
It's okay.
but she definitely taps it. Tomorrow I might be able to see if I can find what this is from.
That sounds good.
I
mean, we should let the rest of the group know as well of the find, but I don't know. It makes sense.
You have someplace to be. Why don't I go tell the group?
All right.
Please forgive me. I'm not gonna tell them anything about what you've revealed to me about my heritage. I want to tell Ignacio first.
Of course.
In private.
It is not my information to tell. This is why I wanted to talk to you separately. Yeah. So thank you for that.
I'm learning that I probably shouldn't hide anything.
It is difficult not to sometimes.
I honestly felt so normal for once. I felt like that nobody saw me for my disability. And I realized that I should have disclosed it anyways.
For whatever it's worth, I still don't see you for it.
Thank you.
I still think you should be very proud of what you have accomplished. I hope you are. I just mean, learning more about you. This makes me admire you, not pity you. The strength that you have shown. Of course, you're descended from the gods.
want to help find out why my grandmother and my mother, which I think she came well after the veil, but why my grandmother, Kavora, and my great aunt were not taken. Is it crazy that I want to see if Ravens has that answer?
It's not crazy at all.
It's still very weird that I am descendant from one and worship another.
Oh, think of it this way. How many of us worship our family members?
Well, if you really must know, my aunt is a devout follower of Tharag.
That is fair. That is fair.
And
But
I
think it's almost funny that you don't for that reason, though.
I kind of want to go tell her now and see how she feels.
Well, here's again, I'm very new to the gods thing, but from what I can tell, it is not a pick one and screw the others situation. It kind of seems like they're all on the same team. So
they
it
really
is
are.
it is just about whatever speaks to you, and that is all right. You've known me for a very short time, but my chaotic nature is pretty apparent, and I've recently felt myself fairly drawn to Sonara. So you never know what could happen.
I'm going to say this. You don't have to be devout to follow a god.
Sienna's face would turn a little bit more somber and just kind of look off and down to the left.
Can I tell you a story?
Always.
When I attended Centauri with Ignacio, but I was kind of new to the whole entire god thing.
Really?
Honestly, my mother and father, they were never really devout followers, but they believed in the gods. My father worshipped Zoot, and my mother worshipped Gerania. But they never saw themselves as devout by any means. And it trickled onto my siblings and I. We never felt devout worshippers of any of the gods. Occasionally they followed either Gerania or Fortune. Actually, my eldest brother, Shavin, is a paladin of Tarag. He doesn't worship Tarag in the same sense, but he definitely serves him.
Huh.
I wonder how Shavin is doing.
Is he in Kilen or
No,
Crazy?
no, no. My eldest brother moved to Indavora
Oh.
well before Lishan and I were born. Our father and him kind of had a falling out, according to what Elron and Akori said.
Mm.
Supposedly, it's been mended before Lishan and I were born, but yeah. He visits every once in a while.
You said that he was the one that inspired you, right? To become a paladin?
He was. I became a paladin of Darag at first.
Really?
Yeah, of course I was in my hundreds. I, once again, wasn't devout or anything. It wasn't until Centauri when I was introduced to ravens.
What drew you to ravines?
That he wanted to make sure people lived their lives with no regrets.
Hmm. Sienna's nodding.
In one of my classes, we learned that most people who, you know, stop the mortal plane existence
Mm-hmm.
always found it difficult to live their lives to the fullest. And if only someone was there that could help them. They might have stood a chance.
Life can be cruel. Even with support, it does not always fix the circumstances or the problems that prevent us from reaching the things we want.
I saw that in me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And when it came to that one girl that I had spoken to Ignacio about in my letter,
Mm.
I couldn't help her. I tried. And that's when I realized that I myself was in that same position.
Of needing support, or in what way?
Of needing to find that thing to live my life to the fullest.
And is that what made you write the letter?
It's what made me write the letter. No, I don't need Ignacio to live my life to the fullest. I
Of
want
course.
Ignacio to help me live my life to the fullest. But I needed to find the confidence in myself to live life to the fullest.
Perhaps then it was good that you never made it to meet up with Ignacio that night. Of course, the time lost, of course, is irreplaceable, but what I mean by that is if you had been able to latch onto him is the wrong way to say it, but bear with me.
Of course.
If you had connected with him right away, you may not have had as much time for introspection and figuring out how to live your life to the fullest, completely independent of anyone else.
That's why I'm gonna say you're wrong.
Okay. Talk to me.
It was because I wrote that letter that I found my confidence.
I see.
I never would have written that letter if I didn't see and find my confidence in that moment. Because a young man, human, stood there without thinking of himself for a moment and talked her down off that ledge.
Sienna's nodding again, just has that gentle smile.
Ignacio was the reason I found my confidence. And in that moment, I felt this connection with Revenge. And I wanted to serve him.
Sienna turns her head and looks at Ignacio from across the room. And just looks back at Kavoria. He was doing champion things before he was even a champion.
That seems to be the case with some champions, I guess. That's probably what drew me, aside from, well, I mean, you see her look over to Ignacio and smile. I mean, he is quite handsome and kind. And you see her blush bright red for a second. And then it goes away and she picks up, and he can write. And other things.
She just gives like a singular knowing nod.
But his heart is so pure. Yes, I see the darkness that resides in it.
I was just going to say she would see doubt cross Sienna's face for like a half second.
And I want to be there. to support him through that darkness.
You will be his flashlight in the tunnel.
I know it's going to be tough. Sienna, the other night, you should have seen him. He was seeing...
What happened?
He was seeing something that wasn't there.
Seeing something that wasn't there. And she would just look down and to her right, like elbow propped up on the bar, chin in hand. Seeing something that wasn't there. In what way? Did he explain?
He was seeing her. The one who wronged him.
She must be a real bitch.
She better be, because I really want to slap her across the face.
Can I get in that line? I'll be behind you, but I want to be in that line.
Please. Actually, you know what? If she ever tries to approach him, me first. I'll take the high ground. You take the low ground.
I got it. I am perfectly aligned for the kneecaps.
Perfect.
99% of people.
Perfect. Anyways.
Get some rest, alright?
I will. Sienna. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, I'll if I find more, I'll keep you posted. Would you like me to just copy down anything out of the journal that seems relevant? I can do that.
If you can...
Just for you to keep?
If you can copy that second one you wrote.
Mm-hmm.
For the fact that it says our great-grandmother and grandmother's names and great-aunt's names.
Mm-hmm. Of course. And she just starts to close the journal up and wrap it back in the silk.
She's smiling when she mentions her grandmother.
I take it your grandmother is quite dear to you.
Oh, well, I'm named after her. They added the I to make it different because, she was still alive.
Oh, the difficulty of naming elves in a family that is long-lived.
It really is. I met her once.
You said she is in Crete?
Yeah, I met her once. She came for a visit. Very sweet woman. She came when my mother had that scare 5 years ago.
If you don't mind me asking, what was the scare?
My mother has been very sick before I was born. My father and mother, my mother felt really good that one night and was feeling amazing. That resulted in me.
That is all good.
her pregnancy with me really took a toll on her body.
Hmm.
Gladiel said that Grandmother Yu had told her that she would be okay if my mother ended the pregnancy.
Hmm.
If it meant saving her life.
That is an impossible decision to make.
My mother's stubborn. And she gets by it naturally. Grandmother Yu has a stubborn streak about her, so. But
I've had the pleasure of meeting her once, and that very much was a trait that stood out.
yeah. She carried me to term, except I was born a few weeks early, which in a normal pregnancy would have been okay. Nearly killed her and me. Long story short, we're both fine. But my mother has been even more significantly weak than I have been in the years since.
I take it healers, no answers, really.
None. They just know it's slowly eating away at her.
You know that's not your fault, right?
I know. I've never blamed myself.
Okay, just checking.
I've known that from a very, very young age.
It's important.
Grandmother Yu made sure that I heard it from her.
Good.
Knowing that she was the one that told my mother.
Yes, that seems important. I'm glad she saw the benefit of clarifying herself there. It's important for a child to know.
Yu is not dumb by any means.
No.
But 5 years ago, we nearly lost her. I was writing the letter to Ignacio when I heard Elrond's voice in my head saying that our mother had collapsed and was unresponsive.
Oh no. That was why you weren't able to go.
I ran to the headmaster of Centauri. He got me back to Killeen. And it was touch and go. By the time that she awoke, was lucid, I realized I was running late and ran back to Grandmother Yu, and she was the one who sent me back to Centauri. When I realized I was too late.
That would have been such a difficult night.
I cried for hours.
I bet.
I seriously thought he never got it. I went to the place where I had left it, and it was gone. But I thought one of our other classmates found it. I spent a year in Indavora after returning home one last time to check on my mother. That's when my grandmother was there. She was helping take care of my mother. She was the one...
Is your grandmother a healer, or?
No. But she was being a mother to my mother.
That's wonderful.
Taking care of her daughter. Just as my mother took care of me. I told her about Ignacio. Well, at first, she was of the opinion that elves should be with elves.
God loves those older generations.
She saw the love in my eyes for him. I knew it was love back then. She told me, go. Don't worry about my mother. If something were to happen, she would send word to go find him. For a year, I searched the entirety of Endeavor for him. I would check the Raven Temple there in Endeavor, and he wasn't there. I'd check our old dorm rooms because it was an off season for the university, so even those who graduate are given some leeway to find a new place to stay over the summer. I even stayed after the new year to see if maybe, just maybe, he was still at the school somewhere helping out. Met the girl that nearly left the plane when she was doing wonderfully. She's decided to stay on and work in the library and take some extra courses to help herself.
Good for her.
After that, I decided to travel back to Killeen. I went through Sochikokan, asked around to see if somebody had heard word. I must have asked all the wrong people. They either have not heard from him in the 4 years that it took us, 5 if you include the additional year after. Oh, I didn't know who it was. So essentially, with my tail between my legs, I traveled to Vona, when I met Ellery. Spent a couple nights there talking with her. Very, very smart woman.
Sienna nods.
She just doesn't know how to apply it yet.
She will figure it out.
I know she will.
Kavoria would see Sienna, like, you know, the corner of the mouth pulled up, grinning, looking over at Ellery for just a beat longer than necessary before she kind of shakes her head and turns her head back to Kavoria.
And then I came back to Killeen. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to hit the mic there. I checked back in. My mother was doing fine. She was recovering well. And I decided to go to the Raven Sanctuary.
And this was just about a year after your focus had shifted, right?
About a year and a half at this point. I spent I'm sorry. I just for context for the listeners, I'm sorry if you hear mic movements. Eagle is doing some Godiver stuff.
The commitment on Shailene Zurga is unmatched. We'll call it sliding the plate. We're stacking the plates on the bar. It's like that little like scraping sound.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hang on 1 second.
It's okay. We'll get these ready for Caspian. Pull this over. Set them off to the side.
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
About a year and a couple of months, actually. I was in the Raven Sanctuary, and there was this elderly elven woman who had just recently lost her husband. She was grieving. Kershaw, at the time, was strapped thin as it was. I asked him, what did he need? He at first said help, but he's like somebody who can help those get over the grief and see a new light.
That's exactly the callings that you are looking for.
The precise calling at the time I was looking for. And thus began my work at the Raven Sanctuary. Who knew it would lead to my proper calling? She looks back at Ignacio with a smile. I need to tell you this. And I'll eventually tell Ignacio.
Sienna leans forward.
Elron, when we saw Elron that night, he wasn't lying when he said, I thought you were working late. And no, I did not skip out on my work. I went into that day knowing that I was going to be working to about 10 o'clock that night. I started later in the day. And Kershaw had said that I could get off early. He had no idea why, but I could get off at my normal time, even though I came in late.
I think Ravins was looking out for you.
I think Ravins was starting his plan to reveal his champion. When I was talking with Ignacio, I kept getting this feeling there was something more about him than I remembered. And it's
something more in spirits or more wisdom, more years.
more
What do you mean? Okay.
Honestly, it attracted me. To more.
Says something about men in leadership. I understand that.
When he told me he was the champion, I get why. I had a sense of pride to be by his side. And
I think you would have had that pride whether he was the champion or not.
There's a different kind of pride here.
Fair.
No, yes, the pride you're talking about. Absolutely is there. But the pride of protecting his champion.
And Ravin's, in some ways, choosing you to be the one to do it. And right place, right time is not always a coincidence.
No. I'm so glad I met him again.
You two make each other light up. And you bring great comfort to each other. It is quite obvious, or even from the outside. And quite beautiful.
I never lie when I say I love him. Every single time I look at him, my heart races. I get those giddy feelings in my stomach.
Do you have the butterflies that leap in your stomach a little bit still?
Always. Yes, I know he is human. And I get that my days would vastly outnumber his. But if I can make him happy here and now, I will be fulfilled forever.
I am not a big believer in making someone else's happiness your responsibility, and I mean this in the most positive way possible. But I love that you're not letting the lifespan differences stop you. So many do. So many don't even consider other races, other species, because they think, oh, I will live a different life. But every moment is precious, and tomorrow is not guaranteed.
No. And that is why you need to live the life to the fullest.
Indeed.
And trust me when I say that I want to make sure he does too.
Oh, of course. I'm sure as much as you want to make him happy, he feels the same about you. I don't know him very well, but he is not an insincere type. He does not put on airs for anyone. I respect the hell out of that.
Is it odd to say I feel a fear?
No,
That
I
would
think
happen.
love is scary.
I was more referring to that what happened today. It drive him away.
It's not weird to say that you are afraid of it, but I think that is I don't want to dismiss the feeling, so I'm not going to say it's not valid, because it's absolutely a valid fear, but at the same time, it's not something I think, from my instincts, that you have to be worried about. Because at no point did he seem turned off or disgusted or anything. Like, I'm trying to think of it just doesn't even register for me the way that people sometimes process these things. But I think
understand.
he was concerned, and not because you are his party member, not because you are fighting the same battle. No, he was concerned about the person that he loves. That concern is not something that's it's not something that goes away. There will be different things that cause it for anyone in any physical circumstance. Yours just happens to be a unique brand. It is not going to drive him away.
Thanks, Sienna.
Of course.
You could have made a wonderful therapist.
I appreciate you saying that after this morning.
You should give yourself more credit.
People are not usually my skill set.
Anyways.
But I appreciate you saying so anyway.
Yes. You see, kind of drying her eyes a little bit. Let me go tell the others about this piece of fabric, and while you go see Ryko, was it?
Yeah, he's Ryko.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm probably going to be back late. I don't want anyone to stay up, but if you will also please tell Ellery that I don't know if everyone is going to be joining her before dawn, but that is my plan. I plan to join her.
Okay. I will.
Also,
yes.
Think about this and just get back to me if you would. We were trying to think of a way to preserve metal outdoors, and I don't know. You grew up around Elron. One of the finest metal workers I've ever met. I don't know if he used anything to preserve. But if you happen to think of anything, will you let me know?
Why don't I send a message to Elron?
If you have the time and space, it would certainly be appreciated. Thank you.
Let's see. We're going to talk with the Chojis on the
10. I jotted it down.
And
so
talking with
day after
the
tomorrow?
Yagami on the 15th.
15. Mm-hmm.
On my birthday.
It is your birthday.
Yeah.
On the 15th?
Yeah.
Oh, that is wonderful. Are you a person that likes to celebrate, or are you a person that likes to keep it on the wraps?
My siblings always find a way. Even when I was at Centauri, I found a way.
Fair.
I mean, we did have a lot to celebrate.
Yes, they did. And they do. So do you.
I'll still get in contact with Elron.
I appreciate it.
From my knowledge, though, there was one metalwork piece that he hoped to preserve, but he decided to put it as a piece inside and created a different, more sturdier alloy to withstand the elements. On top of doing the typical coatings and whatnot. But that's all I can remember off the top of my head. I would definitely get in contact with Elron. I'll send him a message later, and she'll pull out her own Elven Transpondent Stone. But hers is in more of a pendant form.
I love that.
It's a much smaller stone, but it has the same exact properties.
That's really cool.
And she tucks it back into her shirt. All right, go.
All right. I will be off. Take care. Get some rest. I will see you tomorrow.
She stops you and gives you the biggest hug.
Sienna gives her a huge hug back.
And then she lets go and lets you run out the door.
And she does. She bolts.
Straight to the Maka.
Straight to the Smithery. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
And you see standing outside Ryko.
And she definitely, like, as soon as she gets a little bit of sight of him, she just stops and, like, checks her hair. She realizes that she didn't really fully clean up after the battle. Actually, I don't think she cleaned up at all after the battle.
She was going to, but
well,
that didn't happen.
So she is covered in gore still. She actually probably looks injured.
Ryko
uh,
sees you run up, and it looks like he hasn't been standing there long. It looks like almost like he walked out moments just before you ran up.
Perfect.
And he looks over. Oh my gosh, are you okay?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. Sorry, none of this is mine.
Oh,
But
okay. Sorry.
sorry for the smell. Oh no.
uh,
I got your message from Caspian and wanted to come right away. I didn't know how late you all would be here, but also
uh,
sorry.
no, Maka had a few pieces that I was helping her with to finish up before tomorrow. Which is
You poor
why.
thing, you never got your day off. I'm so sorry.
Nah, even though I take a day off, I never really take a day off. I'm always doing something, and it's my choice, quite honestly. Um,
I understand.
but Savoran wants to preserve the peace
All right.
by
Does that
putting
mean
it inside.
perfect? You see relief come over Sienna. Like,
She wants to put it inside the Yagi tree. Um,
oh,
I, funnily enough, he was there for dinner that night. He was meeting with the Aizawa husbands. Um, uh, he got to meet the twins. I got to see them for the first time.
oh,
Um,
they're precious.
they are. Uh, anyways, Savoran asked if he could find a place to preserve the relief within the tree, and he was honored that Savoran wanted to do it, and she has given us the go ahead to cast the new piece to put over that would be more resistant to the elements.
Oh, that is great news.
She
That is great news.
she also has given her go ahead that if we want to try to recarve or re detail it, and she is willing to pay for the materials.
Perfect. That helps. That helps a lot. To make sure I'm clear, the details on the originals that we are preserving, or the details on the
The
new
new one.
copy for
The new one.
the new one. All right.
Uh,
So we're preserving it as a historical piece.
yes. The
Perfect.
original. She just wants us to reinforce it so it doesn't crack anymore. She actually thinks the crack would be a wonderful story.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I agree.
she just wants to make sure that the back is secure and that uh, there would be no danger of it cracking further.
Wonderful. Oh, Ryko, that is great news. I've been a little bit stressed about it, and I think I took it out on some rats.
That could explain.
She just gestures to herself, just all of
Yeah.
her.
Why don't you come inside and
All right.
I'll get you a towel to clean up.
Thank you.
Maka and Laurna are in there, and they have some ideas about how to preserve it so it doesn't crack any further.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And he leads you
She'll kind of...
inside. And Laurna and Maka are there standing behind the counter.
Hello, Laurna. Hello, Maka.
Ryko walks over into Maka's forge area, leaving you three. So, Ryko definitely said something about wanting to preserve this peace, and I'm all for it. Yeah, honestly, I'm so happy Savoran wants to preserve it inside.
Same. I know we could have gotten it repaired to go above the door, but it would have required more reinforcement and modification to the point where it could have altered the original, and there's something to be said for things, even as they decay, to be allowed to do so.
Yeah.
That is such a relief.
Yes, it is.
Before I forget, I won't be here first thing in the morning, but I will be here sometime in the afternoon, at least for a couple of hours, to help with whatever pieces you have that are on the backlog.
Don't worry about tomorrow. We're actually closing the shop tomorrow, partially due to the fact that it's my mom's birthday.
It's your mom's birthday.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Happy birthday to her.
Yeah, that's the meal that we were talking about earlier. Ryko will be here for the morning, finishing a couple of his jobs. He helped me finish an armor set that was needed to be finished by the morning. He'll take care of that as well as his pieces, and then we'll meet us at our mother's. So don't worry about coming in tomorrow.
Right.
But we will definitely could use you the following day.
Perfect. I'll be there.
Perfect. And once I get my mouse unstuck from the I've been slowly shifting every single time you're talking.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Ryko comes back and he hands you a damp towel and a dry towel so you can clean up. And as you are doing that, Laurna leans on the counter. So, Ryko, why don't you tell Sienna your plan for the piece? Ryko.
Sienna turns to him, wiping her face, wiping her neck, all of that.
Ryko lightly blushes a bit. Yeah, so the alloy that you made earlier, I want to mount the piece on that alloy very carefully.
That would be amazing.
I think the best we can do it is if we heat the alloy and wait till it starts cooling, and before it fully cools, place the relief onto it.
I like that idea a lot.
And then using a torch of sorts to, if it starts to separate, melt it together.
That sounds great. I think the alloy has enough properties in common with the original metal that they should fuse fairly well.
I'm hoping so.
Yes. Savoran mentioned wanting to. I like the idea of preserving the crack. There's part of me that is wondering, like, do we want to almost highlight the crack with something that is lighter, like silver? I think that would be too much, probably, but it's a thought.
There's this art that that an artist uses in Devora that puts gold in the cracks.
Not a lot of people know about that.
Yeah, I was the one who taught him that.
No way.
I actually personally know that artist.
Sienna's jaw is just like she's like mid wipe of something, and she's just frozen in happy awe.
So that artist taught me, which is where I come in. Cause Ryko, you want to tell her more? Yeah. And you see, like, he's like, please stop putting me out there. I talked to Savoran about this, and she is on board to fill the crack with gold.
Amazing. Oh, that makes me so happy. It's going to be so beautiful.
And
she's already like picturing it and like how pretty that's going to be. So we can fill the gold in first, and then she probably doesn't get. So we put the gold in first, and then reinforce it on the alloy. This is great. This is going to work perfectly.
Yeah. I'm simply just there to make sure that they bond properly. Laurna is going to help with the gold. In fact, she has already been working on melting gold. We relit, we quenched my forge, and then relit it to a much lower temperature while we set Ryko's forge to do the fusing of the two pieces.
Perfect.
The gold should be just about melted. If not, it better be by the time I get in there. And you see Laurna with just narrow eyes just walking past and into the forge.
Sienna looks at Ryko and Maka. Should we follow? Are we doing this tonight? Because I'm so on board, but I wasn't sure.
Yes, I think it would be best if we do it tonight. One, the crack is cracking even more.
Oh my god, just from sitting still.
Just from sitting still. I made sure that none of my projects were even near, and I walked over to check on it because I heard the faintest sound.
Oh, Maka, I'm so glad that you are paying attention. It could have, honestly, the timing, we couldn't have gotten luckier.
I think it was just a disaster waiting to happen. And the fact that it is in our hands and it's just happening is a sigh of relief.
indeed.
Pun intended.
Sienna just giggles. What can I do? My hands are at your disposal.
If you want to come check the outlet with me?
Yeah.
Okay. And Ryko walks up into his forge. Laurna
Perfect.
is over here. And you can see he tied it up a little bit. Most of your pieces are still out where you had them, but he basically has made a workspace.
Perfect.
You see that he has, even though it's not on the map, there is a giant table. There is a table right in this area
Perfect. Okay.
that he has lined with the proper stuff so he can put white hot metal on top of it
Mm-hmm.
and it not set anything on fire. Just so he can start working it out into a plate shape.
Perfect. And she'll just like take off her cape and like because she was in her adventuring gear, so
Mhm.
she just sort of gets down to the bare minimum before turning around and saying, just points me in the right direction.
Yeah. If you want to help me get it out and onto the table so we can start getting it into the right dimensions. And you can see
Of course.
he has marked on the cover on the table the dimensions of the relief. He walks.
Perception check on his handwriting.
Go for it.
That is an 8 plus, let's see, 8 plus 5, 13. Just curious what I noticed in passing.
It's surprising for a half orc. It is a beautiful script.
Oh my god. And it's just like if you're just marking down dimensions, that's just not even trying too hard. I love it.
No, in fact, you can see you almost equate it to like how your mother,
Mm-hmm.
even though her normal handwriting is, for the lack of a better term, crude,
Mm-hmm.
it's still very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
I
It's
love it.
crude but beautiful.
Sienna runs over to this side of the forge here and just grabs. Oh, it didn't quite ping, but it looks like there's tongs on this side of the forge, and that's what she's grabbing to make sure she can
Yes,
safely
and
handle.
in fact, he also points to over here at this anvil. There is a hammer that is hanging off of
Perfect.
it. If you want to use that hammer, go for it. Because you can see on his belt has a hammer, and he
Sure.
has his pair of tongs, and he's grabbing the piece, and looking at you. On three.
She just. Yep. On 3.
1, 2, 3, and in
All right.
tandem, you pull the piece over to the table. And oddly enough, you see this little, like, raised platform on that side of the table just for you. And
She probably like bumped into it a little bit at first, like not noticed it, and she goes, "Oh, thank you." And she'll like step up, but like
of course.
Mel is just going, "Ah."
And he starts hammering.
All right, and she'll actually just pull. She doesn't. She one fun fact about artificers: in order for them to use spells, they have to have their tools as their casting focus. So actually, her hammer that she wears on her hip is also a smithing hammer. So, so she will help. And what should I roll if you want me to roll for this?
Roll a dexterity with advantage.
Okay. And do you want proficiency on that as well?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thanks for the advantage because I got a 2 and a 10. But that's a 10 plus. Oh, shit. That's right. Dex is -1 for me. So, so 10 -1 for 9 plus 3 proficiency is 12.
One moment.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I had to get a drink. You still there?
Mm-hmm. I just took the opportunity to take a giant bite of spaghetti. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good. Over the course of about 10 minutes, you both get it into that dimension. Ryko looks at you. All right, let's get it back into the forge.
All right.
And
On 3 again?
On 3 again. 1,
All
2,
right.
3. And moves it back to the forge. All right. Let's go check on the girls. And
Sounds good.
let me grab Maka. The joys of using only one screen because I now have to do this all in real time.
You're doing great. It's not easy.
Ryko leads you through this door over, and you see Maka and Laurna over the piece. And you see Laurna gently pouring the gold. And you see Maka right behind where she's pouring, using a blade of sorts to kind of gently even the gold.
Sienna's like as close as she can be without being in the way and is just like watching in awe because she's seen the result of this art, this like kintsugi style art, but she's never seen it done.
Without losing focus, Laurna speaks up. The artist taught me his way. He was my mentor, after all.
He was.
He was.
What was his name?
His name was Shinrugi?
Huh.
Shinrugi.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you see her get to the end of one of the cracks.
Sienna's looking at the rest of the rest of the metal, just watching how the heat is impacting it, trying to see if it's creating any other weaknesses or anything.
Surprisingly, with as low temp that it takes for gold to melt,
Mm-hmm.
The heat of the gold is not bothering it.
Perfect. If you're okay with me taking this, just stop me if not. She'll see Maka's knife. I'd imagine it's a very small knife, but by what Sienna holds on her gauntlet, still somewhat large. And she sees her get into one of the finer cracks, and she just pulls out one of the tools and hands it across the table to Maka. Yeah, this might help on some of the smaller ones.
Thank you. She takes it, and Laurna begins again. Ryko.
And Sienna looks at Ryko like, do you want to get in here?
Ryko gently walks up Maka, can I try? She smiles and smirks, clasps a hand on his shoulder, and swaps places. But she guides him for a little bit before she lets go and lets him continue.
You've got this, Ryko. Steady hands, patience. Always the way.
Thank God for the advantage because he rolled a 7 and a 19.
A.
+4.
Nice.
And he just works with Laurna and filling all the other cracks.
She goes over to stand by Laurna to see how she's pouring, and she just kind of stands up on the anvil so she can see over her shoulders.
Before you do, though, Maka looks to you. You want to try?
Absolutely. She's a little nervous. She's a little nervous after this morning, but yeah.
Ryko smiles. You got this.
All right. What do I do?
And now it's Ryko's turn.
Oh my god, no.
And he guides your hand. Go ahead and roll a dexterity with advantage. I
want you to know my body temperature went up a couple degrees. That is a 10 and an 18. So 18 minus 1 for 17 plus 3, so a dirty 20.
Flawlessly. He guides you for a little bit and then lets go. And you just
At first, she's very much aware of the physical contact in a very positive way, but she's also a little bit of a schoolgirl about this. But keeps it in, and in a matter of 45 seconds, she's so focused that she doesn't even feel him pull away.
Maka elbows Ryko a little bit. And you just hear the shut up.
Sienna's just the corner of her mouth pulls in. It would take so much to see it, but she just kind of grins.
Laurna is like,
as she's going.
Everyone shut up. And she goes, and over the next little while, you and her finish filling all the cracks.
Amazing.
And what you see now is starting in that same corner, almost like lightning. And it's spreads from that corner crack throughout the entire piece.
It's beautiful, Laurna.
No.
I can't wait to see it on the other side with the...
This is not beautiful. This is breathtaking.
Indeed it is. Thank you for your talents on this. My goodness.
I've done a few of these pieces in my time.
They're incredible.
Master Shin
sorry.
was very particular.
Did he restore old pieces like this often?
All the time. Though none of them were metal. Mostly ceramics. But he was very particular about who he taught. So the fact I feel absolutely honored that I was one of the chosen.
Sienna nods with the weight of that and just deep respect.
No, we need to let it cool before we can do anything else.
All right. How long?
Maybe 10 minutes max.
Oh, all right.
Because we obviously cannot quench this piece.
Yes.
Otherwise, more damage would be done, and we do not want that.
No, absolutely not.
Ryko, how did the base of it turn out? Ryko rubbing his shoulder where Maka elbowed it.
Damn, she hit him hard, didn't she?
Oh, she did. Oh, there's nothing subtle that ever happens between these two.
I adore them so much.
Ryko, of course, has a small glare at Maka for the fact that she elbowed him the way she did.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's ready. It's in the fire right now, heating back up. So she's like, I think it might be best if it's go ahead and pulled out. Maka and I will get this piece ready to be transferred. Why don't you and Sienna go get it pulled out and ready for this piece?
All right.
Yeah.
Sienna bolts. Oh.
Ryko walks with you. Meanwhile, Maka and Laurna get the piece ready. What are you doing tomorrow?
In the morning, first thing, we have some dire wolves. I don't know if you keep up on the town bounties, but there are quite a few.
Yeah.
I know we're going to be hunting that pack. But past that, I don't think I have any set plans. And she gets a little bit shy. When she answers the question, she answers it from a purely what is my schedule tomorrow perspective. And as she's talking, she realizes what he's actually asking and starts to get shyer about it as she goes. It's like, but I don't think I have anything else.
It's my mom's birthday tomorrow, and we're throwing her party. You maybe want to come?
I would be honored. Yes. What should I bring? Also, happy birthday.
Don't worry about it. She hardly ever asks for gifts. You can bring your friends too if you want.
All right. What time? What time should and where?
You know where the first Savoran is?
Yes. Yeah.
So close by there's a tailor shop called Designs by Tully and Julie.
Oh, wonderful.
So my aunt and mom live above the tailor.
Oh, perfect.
So yeah.
Okay.
Alloy.
Thank you for inviting us, especially to a family affair. That's so kind.
Maka Laurna told me to invite you. And
That is very kind of them.
yeah, alloy. On three.
Yep.
One, two, three. And
Back up onto the little stand.
moves it over. Um, at that moment, Maka and Laurna are carrying the piece on the support that it was on.
Perfect.
And Ryko moves over to this side as they approach the side of the table.
How
And,
high is the little stool that he set out for her?
So you're 4'6". It would
Mm-hmm.
basically make you roughly 5'3".
Perfect. Okay.
And together in unison, you all position the piece. Ryko takes a little bit of water and sprinkles it along the sides of it, not on top of it, but along the sides, so it starts to cool down the piece.
Mm-hmm.
And as Maka is watching, now, and in unison, you all work to slide the piece onto the alloy. I need you to roll dexterity with advantage, adding your proficiency and adding a +2 as well.
Okay. Hold, listeners. Hold, listeners.
Oh, I need to see this.
I'm sending you a picture.
Oh. Are the dice telling
The dice are so
their
good.
freaking story? Abso-freaking-lutely.
That's a nat 20, baby.
We love it.
I'm dancing.
When the dice tell their story. And it's yet in the same location. For all 3 times, even though one wasn't heard. And with that, with a grace and a beautiful dexterity about it, the piece slides on and slides into place. Ryko and Maka in tandem go around with these small torches, going around the outside and making sure that the piece is held together.
Sienna's watching she's looking carefully at the cracks, making sure that nothing is like shifting within the original metal of the piece because it was so fragile. Mm-hmm. So she's checking that and seeing how it's bonding. So she's actually hopped off the stool and is like perfectly aligned with the edge of the table so she can look at it really closely.
There's a beauty and a grace about how Maka and Ryko move in tandem. Mm-hmm. It's almost like they've been doing this exact same thing for years. And Lorna, of course, has stepped back to allow then the space to move and work. And Ryko sighs happily and looks at you.
We did it.
We did it.
She would literally just hug him. Like, her clothes are still gross. She doesn't even think about it. She just hugs him. It's perfect.
He kind of like hugs you from his height. Like he doesn't bend down for the hug. Alright. Now that that is done, we need to let it cool entirely before we move it again. I am going to do some research on what alloy we should be using for outdoor use, and then ordering the proper materials.
That is a good call.
Ryko speaks up. Savoran said that she'll pay for the materials for the new piece. Perfect. I honestly don't know who to contact. I specialize in armor. Ryko specializes in weaponry.
I may have some idea. Sienna chimes in.
Please.
Kavoria is someone who I believe traveled to Maka when you were recovering.
Elrond!
Elrond does preservation work like this. It's not his main trade, but he's done it before.
How could I forget that? Shoot. Yes.
Kavaria's already reaching out about coatings because we talked about it earlier today, but I'm sure he would have more information about the proper alloy as well.
If she is truly contacting her brother, we may get this piece done soon, and I am so happy.
Me too.
Maybe my aunt and I can work on a box for this.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Do you do woodworking as well?
I dabble in it a little. Side projects, of course. Although, and Maka narrows her eyes to Ryko. If you really want to know the woodworker around here.
Oh? And Sienna turns and looks at him.
Ryko is bright red. Maka, I said that was a hobby.
I mean, it makes sense. Wood is a great place if you're working on learning how to carve, too. That's why I did my first carvings, was all wood.
Like, he's mumbling as he goes over to this box, and he digs down, and he pulls out this piece, and he hands it to you.
She takes it.
And it is a beautifully carved symbol of Durag.
Ryko, you've been holding out on me. This is wonderful.
Like I said, it is a hobby.
All good trades start off as a hobby. This is wonderful. You have talent at this.
Thanks.
Not that I'm surprised, but yes, this is beautiful.
So,
Why the rug, out of curiosity?
I like the symbol. It's cool.
That's fair. It is pretty simple.
Yeah. Oh, please don't let him kid you. He's done all the others. Laurna.
She just smiles.
He
She just
walks.
smiles.
He walks back and he pulls out 6 more plates the same size, and it's a carving of all the holy symbols of the tribes.
Just jaw dropped. And just like, these are amazing.
Laurna walks over and just kind of drapes her arms around them. Please, Ryko has been doing this for years. He's really good.
So, he is very good. This is perhaps no longer a hobby. This might be a trade. I don't know at what point it crosses over, but you're very good, Ryko. Trust me. I know.
Yeah, thanks.
There are people who can copy a trace, right? There are people that it is the way a lot of people start, and it's a wonderful way to start and to learn. But some people never get past that. Some people never develop their own style. This has you all over it. This is not merely a copy of the holy symbols. This is Ryko's copy of the holy symbols. It's so wonderful.
Thanks.
She just smiles.
Yeah, I'll help with the box. I knew you would. That's our little Ryko. And Ryko immediately bright red and pushes Laurna like off. Maka at this point is belly laughing.
And Sienna's trying not to, but she's definitely not winning that battle.
Pushes past Laurna and out the door.
Oh no.
Maka is just writing us like he's pouting.
Has anyone ever told him he's a bit like a cat?
Countless times. And it's so fucking cute, and he's my brother.
You're not wrong. It's great.
As you say that, Maka and Laurna glance at each other. And then back to you. Alright, so this probably is gonna cool overnight.
Perfect.
I'm gonna go. I'll quelch Ryko's fire. Laurna, can you go quelch mine?
Before you do that, since you close tomorrow, does it make sense? I have a spare hour, so tonight I can help with something small, if there's something you would like to get off the list.
No. The ones that are left, we're waiting on some supplies.
Oh, alright.
So, I'm hoping to get the idea for what we should use, but it's probably going to take a couple more days after that. This gold was spare, by the way. Don't you worry about it.
I was going to ask.
It was spare gold. We actually don't have any gold pieces coming up. So I should probably order more. Because as soon as I say that, there's going to be somebody walk in who wants something with gold in it. I can feel
this is true.
Anyways, Laurna, clutch my fire, and Laurna walks over And she's specifically saying it so you do hear it. Oh, I always stoke your fire, never quench it.
Sienna's
And
eyes just go wide.
oh, right on by. This is the very first time you see Maka bright red. I fucking love that woman. And she goes over and starts to quench Ryko's fire.
Sienna tries to help. I understand why. You two are perfect for each other.
She is good.
So are you.
Thanks.
Oh, Ryko mentioned your mother's birthday party tomorrow. I plan to be there.
Wonderful. I hope he did say you can bring your friends.
He did. He did.
Good.
Yes, I will mention it to the group and see what they say.
Um,
But
honestly, and I want to be upfront and honest. If you guys don't make it, don't feel bad.
it's the only ways we won't make it. I think is if something goes terribly wrong with the tasks of the day, the dire wolves.
Um,
But I we've
I
got tricks up
know
our
it's
sleeves.
last minute, honestly.
No, I'm not sure invited us at all. I mean, we're strangers, but she just kind of like tilts her head to the side and goes, I feel like I've known you a lot longer than I have, and I'm honored.
Uh, actually, there's quite a few outside the family that's coming together for her birthday. She's hitting a milestone.
What's the milestone?
50.
50.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good age.
Yeah.
It's a good number of years. You're at a point where you know yourself very well, and you have a good path set usually for where you want to go.
Yeah. Mom had me at a very young age.
Hmm. I can't wait to meet her.
She's a good mom. I'm glad we got out of there. Mom smiles.
I missed the last thing you said. I'm sorry, Shailene.
Mom smiles.
Oh, gotcha. I take it she didn't before.
Not over with that bastard.
Sienna nods.
That bastard. Obviously, it made me and my brother what we are.
Hmm.
Our mom's human.
I think what you and your brother are a result of yourselves and your strength. It was just a DNA donor.
That's exactly what I meant. By what we are. Our form. Not who we are.
It makes sense.
But if that bastard ever shows his face here, you can bet I'll punch it in. Well, no. First, I'll grasp him with vines. And then pull him in all directions.
So I like that plan.
Hurts.
That's a good plan.
And then I'll punch his face in.
If I ever run into this person, well, I'll let you know.
Good. Because I also want to chop his dick off.
I'm sure that can be arranged.
Oh, I'm sure I can. Um, at this time, Ryko sulks back in. Thanks for putting up the fire. Maka looks back. Oh, did the sulker decide to finish sulking?
Sienna just grins and tries to preserve his pride a little bit by going and like toying around with her piles of reinforcement steel.
Ryko just walks up to his forge and grabs a few of his tools and did not says a word and goes and like starts putting things away like as per usual. Maka's just laughing at this point and walks back into her forge before Laurna and Maka walking back in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, that piece is gonna have to cool overnight, so it can be fully cooled by morning.
Wonderful. I can't wait to see the finished product.
Neither can I. Ryko looks over at you and smiles. You can still see there's that air of embarrassment on his face.
Mm-hmm. Sienna just grins at him. And she looks at him first when she says it, but would sort of halfway through it also nod her head toward Maka and Laurna. We make a good team.
Yeah, we do.
So, what's on the docket for the rest of the night for you all?
Well, Maka and I, have some things we've got to do back at our house. Ryko immediately looks over, and Laurna just has this grin on her face. Right. A few extra hours outside the house. Better be back by midnight. And if you hear something as I approach the house, go to Mom's. You know it. Right.
I love them, Your Honor. I love all of them.
And without another word, Maka and Laurna leave.
I take it giving them some time is a good idea.
Yeah. You won't believe how often it is, though.
You know, I might. And she just belly laughs a little bit.
You
They're...
hear him just chuckle.
Do you live with them?
I do. Our house is not that far from here.
That's good. That's good.
I hope to one day get my own place, but
it's smart to save money.
While I don't need it, they allow me to live there with them. Though I don't know where I was going with that.
It's all right. It's late, to be fair.
Yeah. I would love to walk you back, but since they left and I'm the last one here, I need to finish close out.
Can I stay and help?
Sure.
She just smiles. Oh, tell me what to do.
And he leads you around, and you're basically just making sure that both forges are completely cold.
Mm-hmm.
And putting out any of the torches. He leaves two torches in his um, lit for now.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Before I go home, I'm gonna come check the piece." And he has led you out here.
Okay.
Um, Before I go to bed or go home, I'm gonna check on the piece to make sure it's melting all right, which is why I left the torches on in my forge.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for a dark shop with moonlight coming in. And Sienna's just very much noticing him, everything that is him. And just feels a type of way she hasn't felt in a long time about a person.
Ryko smiles. I will see you tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anywhere you need to go?
What time is it? She'll start like looking around.
He'll say, it's about 9:30.
9:30. That's not too bad. How long are you going to wait before you check on the piece?
Well until after midnight.
Do you want to go on a walk?
Honestly, as much as I would like to say yes, I'm kind of tired.
That is very fair. It's been a long day.
Yeah. I might just take a nap. If you don't mind.
No, of course not. Absolutely. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah.
She kind of tucks her hair behind her ear, you know, that sort of like thing, that fidgety thing. But thank you for everything today. The use of your forge. You giving me your day off, basically, for these projects.
Yeah.
It's been an honor to work with you and your family, but it's also been wonderful. She kind of steps closer to him.
He reaches out and brushes a piece of hair behind your ear. And then takes your hand and gives it a kiss.
She just smiles.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Can I steal a hug before you go? I guess before I go.
He bends down and gives you a hug.
And she hugs him back, but her real reason for asking for him to bend down without saying as much was to be able to give him a kiss on the cheek. And then she bolts.
Before you do, you both had the same thought. He gives you no. I'm actually gonna play it as this. You both go to give each other a kiss on the cheek and actually lock lips instead.
Yes!
And Ryko immediately pulls back, like, oh, I'm
she just pulls him back in. like, wow, he's suddenly, she just pulls him back in.
Yes.
It just gives him a much longer kiss.
He's a stammering mess. Bright red.
And she just puts one hand on either side of his face, like 2 hands. I think I might like you, Ryko.
I think I might like you too.
Oh, that's good. It would be very awkward if you didn't. And then she bolts.
Yes.
Yes!
Oh,
I love how that went so much.
Is there any other place you want to go to?
I'd like to try to find Granny Chiyo, but I also understand you're probably exhausted. We can do that another time.
No, I am. Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do
get
it.
done. Go ahead and roll a general wisdom.
Okay. That's a 2 on the die plus 2. Sienna is fully in the clouds from that kiss. Fully, like, half concentrating.
I'll say you eventually find yourself oddly at the Yagi tree. The Yagi Manor. Ignore everything that you see currently right there.
Actually, I don't see anything yet. You haven't transitioned the screen to me yet, so you're good.
That's great. That's wonderful, because recording is totally seeing me get this ready. Because I forgot to move the party banner. Here we go.
Perfect.
Guys, you're getting to see some behind the scenes because one screen.
Yep. That's okay.
Yep. You actually see Toshi standing on the outside, looking up. And you can see a bit of moonlight coming in through the trees. And it's just washing over him.
She follows his gaze up, just looking as well.
Eyes are closed, I should say. He's looking up, eyes are closed, like he's basking in the moonlight.
And she looks at the moonlight for a little while and then back down to him. She just gives him a minute. And then
before you
sort of
anything,
quietly,
before you do anything, how could I help you?
Without opening his eyes? Sorry to intrude. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's fine. What can I do for you? And at this point, he looks down at you and opens his eyes.
I was looking for Granny Chiyo, actually, to work on the armor stands. Just to make sure we had a plan. Of course, it's quite late, but... are you all right?
I'm good. I was enjoying the little bit of moonlight that comes in.
She just kind of looks up and then back at him. I take it doesn't happen terribly often.
It happens every night, but I find peace in it. And it
I understand.
helps me with, and he, like, you don't even see the hand move, but a flower crown appears on your head.
She just blushes because she looks terrible.
Most druid craft has connections to the moon.
I did not know this.
Anyways, you want to go back out, and he pulls out the map of Durlin.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there is not a point on the map, he does point over to this area in the Shmala district.
Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm not. Show me again.
Right here. He points
Oh, I
over
see.
to
I
there.
see. Perfect. Okay.
That is where Chiyo lives.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you again, by the way, for the other day.
Of course. Although I was quite surprised when I saw Griffin flying about outside my window.
Yes, about that.
He looks at you. There's something about you I can't quite place. And at this point, he walks over and he kneels in front of you. May I see the griffin?
Of course. And Sienna reaches into her pouch and hands it over. His name is Amivalon, flying friend.
Yeah. I remember hearing about a champion that held a bronze griffin.
You did?
Gervio Centauri. I, of course, never knew him. I'm just in my thousands. So he was before my time.
The one who founded the university in Zavora, right?
Yes, the Centauri University. Yes.
I thought he was focused on Oravins.
He was devout, so I'm told. But he was the champion of Sonara.
Toshi would see Sienna's eyes just widen. Not in full shock, because this has been a suspicion of hers. This is just further pushing that thing that she doesn't want to necessarily believe, but kind of wants to believe. Of Sonara.
Yeah. It could be just a coincidence, but there's something about you.
If you happen to be able to tell me what it is at some point, let me know. She says that very positively. It's not even self-deprecating or anything. It's more just like, I don't know how to put my finger on any of this.
If you ever go to Endavora, seek out the temple there.
All right.
They may be able to at least help you. I didn't even know my own son was a champion, so I doubt it could just be coincidence at this point.
Perhaps, but you also have a sense for things, and I appreciate that.
I've always been told I was in tune with the gods. I, by no means, am a true bard like Sashi.
Well, thank the gods that you don't have to be a true bard to be in tune with them.
It was good
Otherwise, it would be a very small pool of people.
yeah. It was good to see him and show.
Yeah. I hope the babies are doing all right.
Oh, they're doing wonderful. They brought him with them.
Really?
Yeah. Laurna
Oh, that's
is
great.
doing great. She is just about recovered.
Good. That is good. Oh, well, before it gets much later, I should go see if Granny Chiyo is awake. Is this too late to visit her?
Hardly. That woman hardly sleeps. Honestly, to be fair, she naps during the day, but it's totally fair because she does a lot. It's amazing there's not 5 of her. I swear, if she could find a way to clone herself, she would.
Sienna just kind of looks up and to the right. There are spells for that, but they only last for a moment.
Yeah. No, Chiyo, she is an amazing woman.
She seems it.
She is the main record keeper for the happenings in Durlin.
Mm.
Of course, Zashi helps her out on that front. But she runs our newspaper. She's an advisor to me. She is one of our top healers. This woman does it all.
That's incredible.
Um,
Oh my goodness.
she's not strong, but she has a great heart.
Hmm. She seems strong in mind, even if not in body.
Sharp as the tack.
Mm-hmm.
Good gracious. She's over 2,000 years old.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Gnomes
goodness.
live a long time.
I always forget.
Although she is quite old for a gnome.
Hmm.
She's definitely way older than I am. So.
Huh. Actually, speaking of, sorry, I know I'll let you go soon, but that was an honor of Savoran too, before Savoran bought it. Did you know him?
Yes. Jinta. Jinta Nishiyama.
Jinta. Jinta Nishiyama.
Yeah.
Did he... Was he alone?
His wife did live with him until she passed. She passed about 100 years ago. She helped me a lot when Jungle was born after his mom passed.
Hmm.
It was a sad day when she passed, but she was quite old.
Hmm.
Beautiful couple. They only had a daughter who spent most of her time back, either in the clan or wandering about herself.
Was her name Petra by any chance? And Sienna just kind of looks at Toshi with wide eyes.
Petra. I believe it was.
She just laughs and starts crying a little bit. In a good way.
As you do that, he now really looks at you. I see her in you. You... I know you told me your name earlier, and I am kicking myself in the butt for not realizing it earlier. You are Genta's granddaughter.
I believe I am. I never really knew my extended family outside of my mom. I'm learning a lot about them.
Rattled a lot.
Yeah. She was an amazing mom. I couldn't have asked for better, but yeah, I had no idea.
Genta and Kiana. They told me they lost contact with their daughter. About 6 years or so odd years ago. Not by choice.
Of course.
Whether it was Petra didn't reach out or letters got lost, it's quite possible. But they did know about you.
Sorry, they did or didn't?
Did.
They did, okay. Yeah, I'm 63 now. I imagine for Mom, those years were quite complicated.
Yeah, okay, it was about 61 years ago that they lost contact.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it was because your mother never sent them a letter, or there was some other reason.
I don't know. I'll look into it, but this is... Thank you for telling me. Yeah. Maka, actually, at the... And she just would, like, fully unknowingly get a wide smile. Over at the Smithery mentions Nishiyama as the last name, which is incredible.
Such a large yet small world.
Indeed. I'll catch up with Granny Chiyo. Thank you, Toshi. Thank you for everything. And if he's bent down, she'll reach over and just give him a hug. Also, again, forgetting that she's covered in guts. They're dried by now, but still.
One moment. I have something that you might be interested in.
Oh.
And he runs off into this side of the tree, and he comes back and he holds out a picture of two dwarfs standing there, both of dark skin complexion.
Is this them?
That is them.
Oh, they're precious. I can see my mother in both of them.
Petra,
this is such a gift.
When she was old enough, continued to travel. She made her way back to the Livia clan that your grandparents were originally from.
I wonder why she never came back here. Or maybe even why Ginta and Kiana never went back to the clan.
They left several times. Quite often. And not in the more recent years. I think it was within the past 105 years, really, of his life. Actually, it was really after your grandmother passed that he stopped going back.
Mm.
By then, he was much in his elder years, and travel was hard on him.
That's understandable.
And Petra did visit quite often.
Oh, that's good.
Like I said, it was only in the last 61 years that she's not darkened the doors.
Mm.
And seeing you, I think you are the reason she never did.
Mm.
Now, why she didn't contact your grandparents, I don't know. But beyond that, keep that photo.
Thank you. I can never repay you for this. Thank you so much.
I'm surprised I didn't see it earlier. You look like your grandmother.
Sienna's just looking at the picture. I wish I'd had the chance to know them, but the impact they seem to have made here is notable.
When Savoran approached me, wanting to purchase the Petra, as they called it, I knew she wanted to preserve it. Genta and Kiana were staples in our community, in our town. Kiana, the sweetest dwarf. She practically took care of every single child in one way or another.
That makes me really happy for her life.
Junko,
Just means that kindness lives on.
Junko has fond memories of her. The Aizawa boys do too. Most of the children.
That's amazing.
Here. Ask around. You'll get to learn about her life.
I will.
Genta knew how to cook a mean salmon. Oh, it was one of the best. But I digress. Go.
No. Right.
And
thank you, Toshi.
Trust me when I say it shall be awake. So go. He gives you a hug.
All right. She hugs him back just so tight. And then she just gives him a nod and starts to head off.
All right. I am going to quickly grab your token before I plop you over.
Sounds good.
And once again, listeners and watchers, you get to see some behind the scenes. You're going to see another map first because of
Mm-hmm.
where the other map was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you do eventually arrive at the home of Chiyo and Torino.
Amazing. I'm zooming out. Here we go. What does Sienna see as she approaches the house?
It's slightly smaller than a normal house, as in height.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, you should not have an issue fitting in to this house.
Perfect. She'll walk up to the door and just gently knock.
A moment later, you see Torino open the door. Sienna.
Hello.
Please, come in.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for coming by unannounced.
Is it you, Sienna?
And you see
It
Chiyo get
is.
up.
Oh, hello, my dear. Come here.
Hello, Granny Chiyo.
Oh.
And she gives her a hug.
She
Sorry for my
stops
state.
you. She immediately stops you. She's like, oh, wait 1 second. And she casts Prestidigitation on you. How has no one casted that on you yet?
I think Gore maybe suits me. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Okay, now
But
come
this
here.
is no. Thank you
And
so
she gives
much.
You a hug.
She'll hug her back. Oh, how are you both this evening?
Oh, we're doing good. Torino was just finishing our dinner.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Good.
Let me go finish that. Do you want a bowl? It's a stew.
Honestly, that sounds amazing. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Yes.
And she was
like, Granny.
Please come here. Come. Come sit.
She'll just follow Granny Chiyo. I love her so much.
Oh, why are you standing over there? Come here.
And she slaps the seat next to her.
Okay. She's so cute.
Yeah. What can I do for you, my dear?
You're wonderful. I'm so happy to see you. I just wanted to check in because the day got away from me, and I never circled back to check in with you on the armor stands. I've gotten.
Yes. So
Yes.
3 of the stands got delivered today.
Perfect.
Almost.
And there's one more over at Maka's Smithery.
Oh, perfect. Poor Victor nearly tuckered himself out.
I did not realize it was going to be Victor delivering them.
Well, it was him and his sister. He mainly watched. And he didn't really carry anything, but
Okay. Well, still, that's quite a trip for him, from
yes,
what I can tell.
It still escapes us why he is ailing so.
Sienna has a moment where she pauses, because Mel just had a moment where she pauses. And thinks of Kavoria.
Mm-hmm.
And Kavoria's mother.
Mm-hmm.
And wonders if there's any correlation there, any similarities. But because Kavoria's mother is back in Culane, I don't know that there would be a way to tell Chiyo.
If Sienna has made, pause, as you said she did, I would allow Sienna to roll a medicine check to see if she makes the connection.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Something is similar.
Okay. She does not. That is a 3 on the dice plus 2. So I think she would have a moment where she pauses, like there's just something, but it doesn't really. There's no name or connection associated with it. It's just, huh.
Okay.
that sort of passing thought. So she wouldn't say anything.
Okay.
But I know there's much work to be done on finishing them. I have the steel to reinforce them. The rings are being worked on by Laurna. The spells, I believe
wonderful.
Toshi is going to enchant for us. It's coming together.
Perfect. Yes, Torino. I believe Torino was gonna do the things.
Torino, I'm so sorry. I took the note wrong.
It's fine, dear.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. Yes, 3 of the stands were delivered. We didn't do anything with the stands. We just put them off to the side because I didn't know if you want me to go ahead and transfer the armor onto the stands.
Oh, probably not. I think that is. I'm glad that you didn't. It's probably the last step. Before we put the first feature on it.
Okay.
But
perfect.
I wanted to see when is best for you. With just your time, your life. I can work in the evening. I can work. I just don't know when is best and where is best. Honestly, if you would like to work here or at the manor.
At the manor would be best.
Okay.
Since they'll be in the manor. I hardly sleep.
You and I share this in common.
So I don't know if you know this, but I do a lot for this town. I run the newspaper. I run the records. I advise Toshi as a good citizen of mine that I do. Of course, I'm Torino's wife, who needs constant attention. Torino, are you done with the stool? Not yet. Okay, just making sure, because I'm hungry.
I love her. Toshi was explaining that you have many jobs.
Oh, yes, I do.
And she gives you this, like, you know that stare, like she's staring into your soul, but wide-eyed?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she has that look on her face right now.
Sienna notices and is just kind of like divert in her brain. Yeah, you keep records on the town, actually. I've been noticing. Was there any strange events either in Darlene that you're aware of or surrounding areas about 30 some years ago?
30 years ago. 30 years ago. I would have been 300. What happened while I was 300? Oh! Apparently, what we hear from Killeen that 30 years ago, well, a little over 30 years ago, the champion of Darak was born.
All right. Fair enough.
That would have been like what? She's how old? She's 38, I think.
That's Akira.
Yes, beautiful girl. She's so wonderful. Great singing voice. I've only heard her sing once. And then she was humming. I really wish she would sing again.
Me too. She is my sister, and she's
your half sister, isn't she?
She's yes.
Yes.
She's lovely, and I hope that she finds a voice again.
Me too.
Soon.
I heard her sing once with her sister and mother. I actually.
You did?
I did. I traveled to Janelle one time. Torino and I have a daughter that lives there.
Oh.
I visited her. Torino and I honestly can't go visit her together because somebody's got to be here to keep Toshi straight. So I decided that it would be high time that I went to go visit my daughter. And I went to visit her. This was probably, oh, 12 years ago.
Wow.
I went to go there to visit my daughter, and I heard her and her mother and sister sing.
Above the table, would this be around the time that the thing happened?
That drove her to self-exile. It would be before.
Okay. And then is Janelle the one that was attacked, or was that Sandgill?
Sandgill was attacked.
Okay. Perfect. What is your daughter's name?
Kana.
Kana.
Thank you.
Kana.
Kana.
Yeah,
What's a beautiful name.
it is. She's our only.
Aww.
We were blessed with Kana. I found it very hard to get pregnant. And our little Kana was a surprise, but a wonderful blessing.
That's wonderful. That's so great. If I make my way that direction, I'll be sure to say hello.
Oh, that would be great. Actually, she's supposed to be traveling here this year.
Really?
Yeah, for the harvest festival.
That's soon, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Very. Let's see. It'll be her husband, and our 3 lovely grandchildren.
Oh, you're going to have a full house.
Oh, we are. And I am ready. I miss them so much.
I'm sure it must be difficult living so far away.
It is, but we don't blame her for wanting to move elsewhere.
She's probably making her own way.
Oh, she's definitely making her way down places.
What does she do?
Well, she's a teacher.
Oh, teachers are the best.
Yeah. She learned from her father.
Oh, is Torino a teacher?
Taught at the Torino University up until about 300 years ago.
Wow. That's marvelous. She took after her father.
She did. And more ways than one, I swear. They're almost like carbon copies of each other.
That's great.
Torino, I'm hungry. It's coming. And he comes out and is carrying 2 bowls. And he hands them to you both.
Oh, thank you very much, Torino.
Before scurrying back, grabbing a 3rd bowl and coming and sitting down here.
Perfect. Well, thank you for having me for dinner. It's very kind.
Of course. So Torino, Sienna said she was getting the rings for you to enchant. Do you know when they're gonna be ready?
Do I know? Like, has Laurna and I have that
like
tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Laurna said that she would have them ready tomorrow, actually.
Oh, perfect. Should I go pick them up or?
No, I can bring them to you, actually.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'll be seeing her. Her mother's birthday is tomorrow. No, excuse me. Yes, Her mother? No,
Mother-in-law.
Maka's mother's birthday is tomorrow. Yes, mother-in-law. So I will be seeing her around then.
Perfect. Just drop them by. You can drop them at the manor, and I'll get them somehow.
All right. I just learned that you teach. You taught Torino about 300 years ago.
Yeah.
What did you teach?
History.
Really?
Torino doesn't look it, but he was alive during the Great Battle.
And Sienna just like slow turns to Torino.
Listen, old hag, so are you. Chiyo immediately goes, how dare! I'm only 520.
I heard nothing, Granny Chiyo. I heard nothing.
Yeah, add a 2 onto that. At the front.
Torino, you are ruthless.
She just glares at him. I am 252. Thank you. If you have a question about the Great Battle, what would you like to know?
Oh, so many things. Do you have any insights to almost before the Great Battle? What made the fallen the fallen?
That's the thing we don't know, dear.
I'm afraid I don't know if anybody does.
The 9
What's it?
who fell were wonderful children.
You're not the first person I've heard say that. It just reinforces my belief that there's more to it that we just don't know.
My husband and I taught some of them.
You did. I don't know if there is any confidentiality in place, but... And she would reach into her bag of holding and very gently pull out the journal and unwrap it just enough to get to the cover and say, my father, I've been learning, been studying a bit, but I still know very little.
I can tell you the names of the 9 who fell.
Please. And she would... Is it all right? She would reach to the coffee table and just set her bowl down. She would have taken a couple of bites. But she just pulls out a sort of travel quill and a notebook. Please, they are very difficult to get information on for obvious reasons, but...
Of course. Excuse me. I am wrecking my brain here for a second. There is Zephyr, as you probably already know. Sinora. And I am writing all of these out.
Perfect, thank you.
There's Sinora. Wonderful, wonderful girl.
I don't know much about Sinora.
It was sad to see her fall.
Sinora was a personal student of mine. I taught her everything she knows about being a cleric.
Oh,
It was sad to see her fall.
I can only imagine. She just kind of shakes her head in that disbelief, you know.
And there's Milongo, Viltara, Smark, Tethisi.
That was another unfortunate fall.
That is probably the one I know the most about due to my family.
The loss of Tethora was great. I still remember hearing the news about that.
What? Was there anything said about how it happened?
Tethoro and a couple of other people went to go confront Tethisi. Tethoro told the ones he went with to stay back as he tried to talk to her.
Torino was one of the ones that went with.
Sienna would just look at Torino with really, sad, sympathetic eyes.
Before we knew what had happened, there was a sword driven through his chest.
Torino, I'd imagine that the memory is difficult, but do you remember anything about Tethisi in that moment? I'm sure it was chaos, so probably not, but I have to ask.
I feel like I saw a glint of regret.
Indeed.
Zarak was outraged for very good reason.
Of course.
Well, I think the punishment was severe. I think in that moment it was due.
Sienna just quietly nods.
Enough about that. Smar
Indeed.
was the next one. Corcana and Thalivius.
Was it all children associated with the primes?
Yeah. Every single one of them.
That seems awfully convenient.
Most had different parents.
Excuse me for 1 second, sorry. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Sinora was the daughter of Fortune. Malango was a child of Rivens. Vitara. Excuse me, I gave you the wrong spelling for that name. It is not Viltara, it is Viltura.
Okay.
That was on me.
Oh, good.
Viltura and Korkana are children of Zoot. Zephyr, as you know, is the son of Sunara, of Sinosha. But so was Smark. Tethisi, as you know, is of Darag. Smar is of Durania. And Thalivius is of Shmala.
I see.
It devastated them all.
I'm sure. That is every single prime that lost a child in some way through this.
2 of them lost too.
Yeah. Can I ask a strange question?
Go for it.
Shmala's holy symbol is one of a tree rich with leaves and lovely, but...
And you're wondering why Zephyr's is similar.
Yes. I would have expected it to be Sunara's holy symbol, but it isn't.
Zephyr's holy symbol was never like that before the fall. In fact, it was after the great battle that his holy symbol changed to that, or I should say, unholy symbol. It was a sign to Shmala.
Because Shmala is the one that seals them.
Because Shmala was the one who saved his father's life.
Why was that such a grave... Oof. Interesting.
I don't know the full reason, but among the scholars, when we have small discussions, it is said that it was a opposite form of Shmala as a warning.
Interesting. Any theories about a warning of what?
That's where everyone has their own opinion.
What is yours?
To not get complacent. Whether it really is or not, I don't think we'll ever know unless we ask ourselves. To the fallen.
Is there such a way?
Without breaking the seal? No. Thank goodness there isn't.
What does carrying an unholy symbol mean?
You worship the fallen?
And what if such an unholy symbol were to be found within the forest?
It depends on where it was found. If it's within a city's limits, which, by the way, I need to tell you, our wards do go out into the fields that each of the 7 families are part of, guard. If it's found within a city's wards, it could mean that a fallen is pretty much stuck within the city. Which is kind of a vintage if you think about it on our part, because that means we just gotta search for a person that literally just disappears one day.
Has anybody disappeared recently?
No. Unfortunately. Which could mean if you found an unholy symbol within the city, means they're still within the city. It could be disadvantage at our point. But there are ways.
Sienna looks back and forth between Chiyo and Torino.
Sienna, roll a perception check.
Okay. Fuck you. Okay, that's a 2 on the die.
Hang on, I want to make sure I made you roll the right check. I have a feeling I made you roll the wrong one. It is quite possible. Where is... There he is. I believe I gave this character the spell that I'm using. Or that is being used, I should say. I did not, but it's okay, because he should have access to it. Because of his level. Hang in there.
All good.
Where is it? Oh my goodness. Aha, there it is. Sorry. It's a wisdom saving throw.
I see. Okay, perfect. Do you need me to use the 2 that I rolled, or can I try again?
No, roll again.
Okay. It's 19 on the die, plus 3. It's 22.
You feel something, but then it disappears.
Can I tell the nature of it? Of what I felt?
I am reading the spell.
No worries.
What was your save again?
22.
Okay. So yes, you succeeded. You feel something like at the back of your head. Not like on your head.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking over. But almost immediately as you feel it, it leaves.
Can I roll Arcana?
Yes.
13 on the die plus 6. I think the player recognizes the spell, and I'm wondering if I'm right with that roll. I think the spell was detect thoughts.
No.
Really? Okay.
You felt someone trying to scry on you.
Ooh. Oh, that's so much worse than I thought it was. So from a player perspective, like, oof.
Yeah. And you saved.
Sienna processed all of that on her face. Everything of realizing something happened, realizing it's bad, and just kind of loses a lot of color in her face real quick.
Dear, are you all right?
She wouldn't hear the first inquiry.
She touches you.
Sorry.
You all right?
And she looks at Granny Chiyo, and she's like, grand scheme, she hasn't known these two very long, but she does trust them.
Mm-hmm.
I might be in a bit of trouble. Someone, I don't know who. Someone just tried to scry on me. Normally that's not a problem. I don't really have anything to hide, but I do now. And she would pull out the unholy symbol and show it to Torino and to Chiyo. I found this today. The mess that I was when I came in, Granny Chiyo. We took care of the rats that were out in the Yagami farms, and I found this in the tree. There was a creature there that had purple skin, pink hair, and it was doing some sort of commanding of the rats, like leader, the rat king. And we were able to vanquish them relatively easily, but
I don't know anybody here in Torino with purple skin and pink hair.
I don't imagine you would. And she kind of like closes her hand around it. Like she's realizing that picking this up was a really bad idea, but she doesn't want anybody else to experience that problem.
If you don't mind, my dear, I know how to properly dispose of this. If you want, I can dispose of it.
I don't know if I should. I had a vision last night of all times. I can't believe it was so short ago, but I was specifically asked in the vision to find why Zephyr fell. And the same day, I'm handed a symbol of Zephyr. But at the same time, I do not wish to fall. I do not wish to... But if this is a key of some sort, would it be foolish to just throw it away?
I, of course, cannot force you to do anything.
Her hand, like her fist would be shaking around it while she's thinking about this, and she's listening to Chiyo, though.
Chiyo takes your fist into her hands. Just be careful. If the wrong person sees it, you could be quickly labeled as one of the fallen. Whatever you do, do not fall to its tricks.
She just looks at Chiyo and is nodding.
You holding this gives you a direct target for their whispers.
If I have questions for them, is that not a good thing?
They will not answer. It is a one-way. Them to you. It doesn't work in reverse.
I see.
I need you to make another will.
Okay.
Or wisdom, excuse me.
Okay.
Wrong,
Saving throw again.
yes. Wrong, rule set.
Wrong roll set. That's a 12 plus 3. The dice are telling a story again. It's 15.
You hear in your head, come to me, my child. And that's where we'll end.
That's a very good place to end. Like the player, I know this is such a bad idea. This is such a bad idea.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, Sienna would absolutely see this as like, well, we'll talk about it, but oh my god.
Yeah. So that happened.
That happened. Did you see that one coming?
I am not gonna lie to you though. I was already gonna have Ryko kiss Sienna on the cheek.
I love that we both had the exact same idea.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening. Who knows what we're gonna do with this? Because we'll find out later.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.